Hey folks, happy Saturday morning rant. Here's what I want to talk about today as I drive through Harlem. And you can tell it's not morning, right? It's almost evening, but y'all know how the fuck this works. I went to Beacon, New York today. Went to go have lunch up there. It's a beautiful place. Although it's weird because it's right across from Newburgh, which is the black neighborhood. They both got the beautiful water, the beautiful mountains, everything. But Beacon is all fucking, gentrified, blah, 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 whatever. It is what it is. But here I am to rant. What do I want to rant about today? This is probably going to be one of the last couple of rants that I do. Because these rants are convenient because I'm usually in the whip on my way somewhere, and it's easy to just turn on the fucking mic and talk shit and get some shit off my chest. And my car lease is over soon, and I don't think I want another car. I mean, mostly because I'm just back in real estate now. Like, I was out of that shit. I haven't bought a house in almost 2 years, and finally made an offer on a house, got into contract. 2 years of trusting somebody that fucked me over, but I'm past it. I'm back in it, and I just don't feel like I need a car right now. Car's like $2,000 and change a month. It just feels like a ridiculous fucking expense, especially because I barely fucking drive. Like, got a fucking lease with 36,000 miles and only put like fucking 13,000 miles on the car. What a fucking waste. Anyway, y'all get where I'm coming from, hopefully. Actually, that's a lesson for you. People be asking me about investing. I'm telling you right now, don't buy a fucking car. It's the last thing you should buy. Produces no income. I want to talk about nonprofits that engage in what I call mission creep. Mission creep is where you look up and you've built a nonprofit and you got some money, but it's hard to tell who the fuck you are and who you're not because you've chased every dollar that was available to you. And as soon as somebody say there's a grant out there for some shit, you try to spin what you do to fit that grant. Now, everybody does a little bit of spinning because, foundations, they all different. They all want to feel relevant and shit. They all do strategic planning to come up with who they are. So there's some spinning. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. But, like, sometimes people bend over fucking backwards. Like, they'll be serving fucking veterans who have addiction issues, who are unhoused. And then next thing you know, like 3-4 years later, like, they serving disabled veterans and providing sports training and therapy and just shit that don't make no fucking sense. Y'all get where the fuck I'm coming from. So that's called mission creep, and I see it over and over. And let me tell you, like, this shit don't pay off in the long run. Like, you might think, like, oh look, we raised 50,000. Oh look, we raised 100,000. But the problem is, like, fundraising don't really work like that. Like, the reason fundraising works is not just that you raise like your first million or so, but that you out there shopping something that's very clear. Everybody know what the fuck you are and what you're not. So when you're not around, people are thinking about you. It's not just about you being there trying to raise money. It's about money being raised for you because people know who you are, and when they come across opportunities, they think about you because they know you serve veterans who have addiction issues, who are unhoused. But now you do some other shit and people don't recognize you. It's like going in a department store and thinking you're gonna see clothing because that's what you went there for. And when you get inside, you see cars, you see motorcycles, you see bags of cement, you see refrigerators, dishwashers, sneakers. Like, you just don't know where the fuck you are. You're like, what the fuck is this? Why I didn't come here for this? Like, it's just how your nonprofit ends up. And I know this happens so much to black and brown people because they think they know what fundraising looks like because they see other people doing it, and they so busy thinking that the money is not going to come if they just stick to what they are, and that they're not going to raise enough money, and that there's not enough money out there. Let me tell y'all, there's always going to be money out there. Always going to be money out there. I don't care what nobody say. The whole fucking tax code in the United States is written so that people who got money got to give some of that shit away. Got to give it to philanthropy. So don't worry about that. And like, if you got a good product, people will give you money. People will give you money. And so sometimes you got to twist a little bit, because like philanthropy every 10 years or so wakes up and it's like, oh, we got to pivot to this other thing, whatever's in the news. Right now, every white person's scared. Like, every white person in philanthropy is like, yo, we need to fund community violence intervention work and things surrounding that. Okay. Y'all scared. Y'all worried about black people, so y'all want other black people who've been exposed to violence to go out there and do something about it. I feel you. Probably an effective way to do it. Kind of fucked up to use the people that are most fucking traumatized to go out there and deal with other people's trauma. But I ain't mad at y'all. And it creates jobs for the people I give a fuck about. But you get my point, right? Like, there's just always going to be money out there for what you want to do, and you have to reshape it a little bit, but don't shape it so much that people don't recognize who you are. This is a fucking gift to you. This is a gift to you. Like, if you're building a nonprofit and you're all over the place and you wonder why it's hard to raise money, that's why it's hard to raise money, because you're all over the place. Having said that, there's some of y'all, I've been thinking about this too, like philanthropy right now is kind of shrinking on criminal justice issues. And so I personally don't see anything wrong with philanthropy shrinking on criminal justice issues. But that was the police that just went around me and ran the light. I hate the fucking police. Like, they ain't got no lights on, they ain't in no rush. But if I did that shit, I'd be in trouble. But the police literally just went around me, blew through 3 lights and kept going. Fuck them. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, philanthropy is shrinking around criminal justice issues. And that's the space I'm used to. Spent 17 years in that space. And I just hope that that means that organizations that shouldn't have been around in the first place, like Qatar and some of these other organizations, probably just go out of business. Because the truth is, there's organizations out here that just run by the wrong people for all the wrong reasons and shit. Like, literally sucking blood off of issues that they know don't affect them, they don't have any connection to, but they just figured out a way to pimp out black folks and our trauma to get money. And so in some ways, I actually wish that the shrinking of resources means that some of these organizations, like, go the fuck away. And then even some of these small organizations, even organizations run by people directly impacted. People think, you know, just because you directly impacted, like, that's a reason for you to be starting a nonprofit. I remember when I first thought about starting a nonprofit years ago, somebody in philanthropy was like, yo, you're not ready. And I was pissed at it, but she was right. I was mad at her, but she was right. I wasn't ready. And some of y'all ain't ready. Just because there's some white woman in philanthropy that wants to collect black people like trinkets on a Pandora bracelet so she could tell her friends in Park Slope how much she does to help black people. Like, that's not a reason for you to start a nonprofit. Some of y'all ain't even ready. Like, some of y'all don't even want to fundraise. You don't even want to fundraise. Just because one person gave you a $200,000 grant because, like, you were willing to tell your sad story, that don't mean you ready to fundraise. Like, you probably ain't ready to fundraise, because that one grant ain't gonna get you to the finish line. Some of y'all don't even know what it means to fundraise. Some of y'all are, like, so fucking traumatized around money issues that you can't even go out there and ask people for money. I mean, I understand. I get it. I grew up fucking poor. I grew up on Section 8. Grew up poor as fuck. I get it. Like, people have a weird-ass relationship with money. It took me forever to realize that I could be asking other people for their money to do important work to help the people I care about. But that shit is a fucking skill. And it takes experience. And it takes a certain mindset. And if you ain't got that, stop starting nonprofits. Go start a project inside of somebody else's nonprofit. Or go get a job. I'm just saying. Because you could blow through $300,000-$400,000 and have no impact. And I've seen it. I haven't only seen it amongst people directly impacted. I literally seen it. I've seen it on a white dude who literally had mental health issues, raised like $4 million, blew through it, and ain't do nothing for nobody. And got away. And no one even asked him any questions. It was fucking crazy. It was like, one of the most in-my-face examples of fucking white privilege. Like, this dude was just running through money and not producing any fucking outcomes. And I swear to God, if it was a black person, like the way he ended that organization, a black person would have went to fucking prison. Would have went to prison. So I only got a couple of these left. I know I want to use one of these to talk about like my experience in nonprofit and my departure from nonprofit, but I think some of y'all know like there's like some legal restrictions on me talking about what the fuck I want to talk about. And all I'm going to say is y'all got to fill in the blanks. Think of who the fuck would have wanted me to get the fuck out of the way in nonprofit the most. Like, who's benefiting the most right now? Who's benefiting the most from me not being in nonprofit? Some of y'all know. I can't talk about it. I know some of y'all are like, damn, he don't never talk about that. I don't talk about that because there's legal restrictions on me talking about it. But I'm not going to wrap up these Saturday morning rants without just being really fucking clear about what the fuck happened. And y'all know I mention Gabriel Saya and Daniel Surratt all the time. But there's a host of people who played a role in this shit and who have benefited from it. And y'all just gonna have to fill in some of the blanks. Or pay for my lawyer. Maybe we do a GoFundMe and raise some money so I don't have to spend my money on this shit. But in the meantime, y'all know I've been taking the lessons I learned, sharing it with y'all. I've gotten less ranty lately because I really thought that as I wind down, like I could give y'all some jewels and some gifts. At Gem Trainers, as you know, we're the best at what we do. So you could just come hire us and quickly figure out how to do the kind of shit that you might be confused about. But that takes money, so that means you got to fundraise. It's a catch-22, huh? Anyway, that's all I got for y'all today. It is a beautiful Saturday evening in this beautiful city of Harlem. In the meantime, y'all be well. I'm gonna hook y'all up next week and maybe the week after, and then I think we wrap after that. I think that's when we done. All right, y'all. Peace.